It's the Weekly Wrap with your host, broadcasting legend Bruce Wolf, and his trusty sidekick, comedian Tim Slagle. And now, without further ado, Bruce Wolf.
Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap. And now it's time for my favorite part of the show, wherein I guess what's in Tim's background. And Tim, this is an easy one. I'm going to say it's that old 1960s poster of Jane Fonda in Barbarella. A little wrinkled. Not her, but the poster.
The one that got covered up by the Pharaoh posters.
Well, you've got yours covered up by the Michelle Randolph posters.
Well, no, it's not even close. It's you're forgetting this is the big week. The Obama Library is opening.
Oh yes.
So,
yeah. The Obama Library.
So
Let's take a look at it. If we can, unless you're showing me like a blank slate right now, which would be preferable to the actual.
I don't know why it doesn't want to open.
Doesn't want to show itself. Well, because it costs a lot of money to go to that first.
Well, I mean, how many delays is the real one actually had? So this is pretty.
Right.
There we go.
So that's apropos. Oh, very, very nice.
There we go.
What on earth moving equipment is that? That's interesting.
Oh gosh, that isn't the library. That's a sand crawler.
Really, that's
from Star Wars.
Okay. Yes, it's an approximation.
Which is interesting. A lot of people were comparing it to this and the Death Star, the architecture of that, which is kind of funny, because I think that's why they didn't put tickets on sale on Monday. Because that would have been
right. May the 4th be with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it was They were supposed to open on Monday, and people go, "Oh, they're already saying it looks like some Star Wars monstrosity."
Can't compete with that. Can't compete with Cinco de Mayo. I understood that.
Well, I don't know if you remember it was Cinco de Cuarto. Is what Obama called it. So.
Really?
So yeah, so I'm guessing that's why they waited until they're like, well, May 4th it looks like Star Wars. May 5th, well, yeah, you made a big error once, and so the 6th.
Well, here's the thing: they supposedly sold out, and a lot of people are suspicious. They think it's like a Gavin Newsom trick, where he buys his own books, but they sold out for for certainly opening day. Now I'm thinking. That's a lot of money for the people in Anglewheel, pardon my Rahm Emanuel, to fork over to get into that place. So
you don't think that school districts are paying that?
Something's happening.
That's going to be that is going to be the number one. Every Chicago student will at least take one field trip there.
It'll be mandatory to take that day off. One of the guys who follows me on Twitter said, half price off if you show up with an ankle monitor. So I'm thinking, you have special promotions like Trayvon Martin lookalike day. If I had a son, he'd want to come over and see my library.
Sure.
You don't plan on actually, it's not that far from your stomping grounds, actually.
No, not at all. It's $30. $30, it isn't worth it. I would go just for the irony, but not for $30.
Yeah.
Now, so they're going to have. I wonder if they're going to have Drag Queen Day.
Well, I would assume it's going to be. I think that I've been to one. Have you ever been to a presidential library?
I don't think I have. No,
I have. Went to George Bush II library in Dallas, and I wasn't impressed. My best friend for many, many decades, and I went. He loved everything about it. He was taking pictures of some jewelry that the Queen gave to George Bush. To me, although he was a little disappointed because he thought he could actually go in and examine some of the documents. No, he's not
sure.
Sandy Berger cha-cha going in and grabbing some documents. You're not allowed in. So He wasn't allowed in there. Nobody is. But you go in, and it was basically a bunch of videos, a lot of it about 9/11, which, granted, that's a big moment in George II's administration. But I've seen all
is there a copy
that.
is there a copy of My Pet Goat
Now,
there
that
at
would
the
be
night?
something. They'd have a nice little reading circle there, and at every hour, you have an animatronic George Bush starting to read My Pet Goat, and then everybody heads for the underground of the White House. We got a mock situation room. No,
I understand that there's a display there of Michelle Obama's dresses, and
really.
yeah, and I'm that would the irony there would be delightful, because if you remember, some of those dresses that she wore that were some of the most, they made Jill Biden's dresses look nice.
Okay.
It's she was not,
You're
and it was very difficult for like the editors of Vogue to try and talk up about how well dressed she was.
You think there's a color sync duct tape as well?
All right. Well, anyway, congratulations to the good old number 44 president on his library opening. So yeah, I thought you were going to talk about Jane Fonda, that you'd have that poster of Jane Fonda. She, I read this beautiful tribute to Ted Turner, who died, and we have a tweet in it. We don't. Time does not permit us to read all the florid prose that she came up with regarding Ted Turner, but she just waxed eloquent about what a wonderful man he was, and how he came into her life, and how she changed forever in such a great way. And I was thinking, what a beautiful sentiment. I might add that her marriage to Turner was the second longest, 10 years of her three marriages. Wow. And if that isn't true love, I don't know what is. So I think
Ted Turner thought of her a lot like, because he was a yachtsman, and he thought of her a lot like a boat. Is that his two happiest days were the day he acquired and the day he got rid of her.
Right. Now, one of the gifts he gave us was Jane doing the tomahawk chop at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, or was it Ted Turner Field, whatever it was called. But there's the liberal icon, Jane Fonda, doing the politically incorrect tomahawk chop, because she married this guy, Ted Turner, a tycoon, after dumping Tom Hayden of the Chicago 7. She goes from radical to Tom Hayden. It really undermined feminism by her doing that.
Money talks, right?
Oh, he sure did, for a while anyway, and who knows what the prenup was. As somebody pointed out, you got to love Ted Turner because he had the chutzpah to colorize Casablanca. And you find out that the Germans did really wear blue. So, I mean, that's great.
Not only did Ted Turner colorize movies that were never meant to be done in color, like you said, like Casablanca, he also decolorized the Tom and Jerry cartoons.
Why did he do that? Just for fun? Just because he could?
It was MGM, so the Tom and Jerry cartoons was part of the property. But if you remember, Tom and Jerry, were always harassed by the housekeeper, and she would go after Jerry with a broom and go, Jazzbo, I told you, if you keeps that up, you's gonna go outside.
I see what happens. Okay.
and Ted Turner
no
overdubbed the language. It says, Gerald, would you please leave the house? And not only did he do that,
I think he
the
did
legs.
That.
He changed the shade of the legs on the housekeeper.
Yeah, no, now that it's all coming back to me, I think he did the same thing with Gone with the Wind. Miss Scarlet, I do not know a thing about delivering babies. Obstetrics is not my forte. But anyway,
damn it, Jim, I'm a housekeeper, not a doctor.
So let's move on. Governor Pritzker was interviewed by some fungible podcaster, I think at Manny's Delicatessen in Chicago, and Politico reports that Governor Pritzker intimated that he thinks that Donald Trump, I think the man has dementia, he said in this interview at Manny's. I wonder if the interviewer asked Pritzker if he thought Biden had dementia, and if not, was Biden then ousted by a Democratic coup? But maybe questions like that would be as out of line as ordering Chinese food at Manny's.
What did he order? It looks like he just got the soup.
Well, the Ozempic or whatever it is that he's taking has narrowed his stomach a little bit.
A little bit. He's still quite a bit from the table there. But
looks like half the man he used to be. In any event. Oh, speaking of,
and that's going back on that, the 25th Amendment. It's like for 4 years the Democrats had no idea that there was a 25th Amendment. I mean, come on. Biden should have been 25th Amendmented before he got a chance to announce that he was seeking re-election. He definitely should have been 25th Amendment, and after the Department of Justice said he was mentally unfit to stand trial.
Oh, yeah.
And it's unquestionable that after that, America saw how bad he was at the
June the
stage.
27th, 2024, a date that shall live in infamy.
Yeah, because I called it on June 20th.
Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap. Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap. So I was dumbfounded, awestruck by this ad that Spencer Pratt, who is this guy? Oh yeah, well, he's running for mayor of Los Angeles. I apparently did pretty well in a debate yesterday, but he's got this ad.
He's I didn't realize until after it was I saw this ad that he was like a huge reality show host.
Okay, well,
he's hosted like 7 reality shows, and that shows you how far out of the loop I am.
Me too.
So yeah, too busy staring at Michelle Randolph's navel that we missed all the reality.
Get your head
TV.
out of the lint in her navel and start. So this is Spencer Pratt, and it's an AI generated. I'm even wondering. This is how naive I am. I mean, you've got like Newsom and Kamala Harris in this, and are you entitled to use the likeness of somebody that you're up against in an AI generated ad?
I don't think that's the thing. It's not a campaign ad. It's whether it was produced by his people or not. No one knows. No one knows who produced it, and it's gone viral. So it's not, he's not running.
What did
it
it
on
just
TV
materialize like Max Headroom on Channel 9 40 years ago? No,
kind of.
But it's really great. I mean, you have to see it. It's, it looks like a dark.
It's got
Batman.
Who's the mayor? Who's the mayor now?
Karen Bass.
Karen Bass. I was thinking Black, but no.
She's the Joker.
Karen Bass is the Joker. Yeah, it's got Gavin Newsom dressed up like the Hunger Games. Kamala Harris with a chugging of straight from the 750 of vodka. And I think the puppet is supposed to be AOC.
Okay, and normal people are begging for mercy and being laughed at by a crowd of aristocrats from the 18th century.
Yeah, French aristocrats, kind of. It's we want to rebuild our houses in the Pacific Palisades.
No, I would say, I mean, I watched political ads for a long time, and I think it eclipses Bill Moyer's little girl picking daisies as the atomic bomb goes off and knocks Goldwater out of the 64 race against LBJ. I just now, Chris, you mentioned there was a non-AI ad as well for Spencer Pratt, or
the one that he actually did. You haven't seen that one?
No, I haven't seen that. No,
it's actually good. It's 30-second. It's because his house was lost in the
Palisades. Yeah.
So he's living out of a trailer. So he goes to Karen Bass's house and stuff here.
Oh man.
This is where Mayor Bass lives. You notice something? Well, here, where Nikki Rahman's $3 million mansion sits. They don't have to live in the mess they've created where you live. This is where I live. They let my home burn down. I know what the consequences of failed leadership are. That's why I'm running for mayor. For my sons and the rest of us Angelinos that want to stop these corrupt politicians from destroying our city. We are going to get the golden age of Los Angeles back.
Now, my understanding was he was, and that's a great ad too. My understanding was that he was, well behind in the polls, but he won the debate that, the other night. And who knows? But what do you think? I mean, I don't consider myself an expert on a guy that I just heard of the other day.
I saw clips from the debate, and it was just amazing. It's just he was just able to say, it's you two are the reason why we have homelessness and drug addicts and I haven't been able to rebuild my home. It's why would anybody reelect you two? I'm paraphrasing here, but he was amazing in the debate. I have no idea where the polls are now. If he does not get elected, they're cheating.
I understand that Katie Porter, who's running for governor, did, kind of let it slip that California needs the illegal immigrants because that's the only reason that those are the only people coming into California right now. Everybody else is leaving. So
Katie Porter got trash in the debates too.
Yeah.
She said something about, is that I think, is we need to help mothers or something like that. And I don't know, one of the Republicans, I don't know which one it said. It's like, it's really interesting that a woman who had her child taken away from her is talking about motherhood. And she says back, I don't need you to lecture me on motherhood. And he says, apparently you do. It was delightful.
Chris tells me that Mayor Bass is leading right now. But,
well,
we'll see. Not that I'm completely ignorant of California politics, because, of course, we're all following with great interest, even though this is kind of, falling off page one.
It's all mail-in, California.
Oh, okay.
So
Eric Swalwell is still making headlines now and then. Apparently, there's some video of him self-pleasuring.
Doing the tubing.
Is that right?
He's Jeffrey Tubin.
Eric Swalwell sent women videos of him masturbating and other perverted messages after joining Snapchat to restore faith in democracy.
Can I take a minute to get on the soapbox for all men right here? Guys, stop that. There is no woman in the world who wants to see that. I don't know what you think you're doing by sending pictures of your junk to women. They don't want it. They don't. I mean, come on. It's not a big deal. It's not like us. We think it's like it is for us. We like to see naked women because it takes a while to get a woman naked.
Guys,
women, guys will show it to you anytime.
Yeah, Tim, it's true what you say. It's true what you say about the length. That's really all right. Look, by the way, him doing that, now in relief, in retrospect, I'm thinking that him having a little bit of flatulence a few years ago on TV, not so bad in light of what we've seen right here. But I hate the politics of personal destruction. I really do. But let's have a little bit more here. Apparently, he held these staff meetings for the campaign at Hooters. Some staffers said they were concerned about Swalwell's habit of holding meetings at a Hooters restaurant, especially when he announced to run for Congress in 2012. Hey, look, it's not like he had a Nazi tattoo. So he had meetings at Hooters.
Is Hooters even Hooters anymore, really? I mean, when it originally came out, it was like a PG-13 strip club. Right. I mean, that was the idea of Hooters. Right. And now it's just people. I don't even think people think about that anymore when they think about Hooters. I think they think about just about chicken wings.
Well, it was gone for a while, I think. And then it came back. I haven't been following
in my neighborhood, I can't tell you how big of a kick I get out of this. There's another restaurant like Hooters called Twin Peaks. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
I think I have.
It's kind of the same idea, only it's got the it's Northwestern theme, but it's pretty much the same idea.
Yeah.
In my neighborhood, there is a Hooters almost next door to a Twin Peaks, and right in between them is a Harbor Freight Tools. Yes, you want to talk about location.
That's really good. And you could connect the two with a little bit of nice little bit of copper tubing. So, all right. We should. Oh, Rahm Emanuel. Speaking, now that Eric Swalwell's out of it, Rahm Emanuel is obviously running for president. He was in New Hampshire. I mean, why be in New Hampshire, right? Talking about whatever. He said he's kicking off his spin-free tour, New Hampshire style, 110 miles from Portsmouth to Hanover. Anyway, I know what the Dixville Notch 2028 primary results will be. They're coming in now. It's going to be Plattner 5, Shapiro 1, Pritzker nothing, Emanuel nothing. That's what the 2028 Democratic primary is going to look like. This guy actually thinks he's making a serious run for president.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know if I have any more Rahm Emanuel jokes that I haven't used.
Well, the reason I ask
already.
you, here's why I ask you, because we have, we do a little investigative reporting too. Actually, I think you turned it over to us. Yeah, when we ask for all the documents in our document and interrogatory request. You got invited to some kind of Rahm Zoom meeting, didn't you?
It was the Council on Foreign Relations said that they actually sent me an invite. Said, "Do you want to come in and meet with Rahm?" And
how do you get tied? Isn't that the Richard Hassan group or whatever his name is?
I have no idea how I got on their mailing list, and I've tried to get off their mailing list. I've hit unsubscribe, and they won't allow it. And it's apparently they said as a blogger, which I guess I used to do that. So,
and that way, they can jack up the numbers that they have. Whatever, we're sending stuff to Tim Slagle. Okay. Yeah, we sent them an invite. Yeah,
and I didn't even take it. I didn't even do it. It just came up short.
I understand. All right, Brett Baer. This guy works so hard. I mean, it'd be enough just to do that news every night, but he's written a book now, and then he, I don't know if this is part of his book or not, but he's trying to bring us all together. Trying to point out that John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, as we know, because we're historians.
Sure.
He said, Jefferson challenged the sitting president, John Adams, in 1800, and they didn't talk to each other for 11 years after that. And, they hated
and they died on the same day.
Same day, 50 years after the signing of the Declaration.
Exactly 50 years.
Yeah. I got to tell you, when I think AOC and Tucker Carlson, I think John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. Yeah, that's Brett. It's not going to work out, Brett. I mean, those guys were luminaries. Not so much right now, but nice try, Brett, trying to bring us all together. Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap. Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap. So on May Day, the Chicago Public School students went out and marched and demonstrated for, I'm not sure exactly what, but
they didn't have any parades of weaponry, though. So.
But they
not
did
full on communist.
Yeah, when I didn't see any of the reports on local yokel TV, but I can certainly envision them and two of them. I'm sure they covered the march, and then they had a spokesbeing for the Chicago Public Schools and the CTU saying how great a thing it was. And then you had, some voice, some adult saying that it was, they should be in the schools and what. And maybe, just a little bit from the kids, but kind of innocuous. But what, they should have had was, that old Howard Stern bit with Stuttering John out there. Let's call him Stuttering John Drummond, who comes out there and asks questions like to the students, who is Frederick Bastiat? And if you don't know, why aren't you back in the classroom learning who he is? Something like that. Ridicule the kids. That's my point.
It is much like that old Soviet adage, they pretend to teach us and we pretend to learn.
Bruce, Nick Sotar did go and do that.
Who's Nick Sotar?
One of the TPUSA viral guys that.
Okay. Yeah.
He went and asked the kids all those questions and they knew nothing.
Right.
They were showing their chance. It was the greatest hits. It was Free Palestine and all that. It wasn't even.
Sure. But I mean, no, you just, ask some basic questions like, have you ever heard of the quadratic equation? Well, why aren't you back in school learning it? So, but you would never have the local yokel stations ridicule the kids. And that's why, as much as I resent not still having a job at any one of those stupid stations, I would be gnashing my teeth while I was there because they just wouldn't do it. I mean, you should really skewer, and the littler the children, the better. No, and not pretty soon.
I don't think you should ask 8th grade or 4th graders about Bastiat and the quadratic equation.
Look, I am this close to becoming Jonathan Swift in suggesting that we eat them. So anyway, it's in that vein. Frank Luntz, a name I love.
Sure.
As well as
Paulina and Spadina.
I'm forgetting the triumvirate.
Melvina. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Melvina. So Frank Luntz says 54% of Americans read below a 6th grade level, which means you know what that is? They call it Jethro Bodine syndrome because he made it only through the 5th grade, learned some ciphering and stuff. But
his gazintas, he knew his gazintas.
Now that would have been funny if you had somebody from ABC, Chuck Gowdy going on there. He's at NBC right now, and just ask the penetrating question: how many times does 8 gazintas into? No, I don't even know how to do the Jethro Bodine.
8 gazinta 64.
Yeah, right. So,
this is kind of interesting. I did a private party last year for a guy that owned a lumber company, a construction company, and a roofing company.
Is this going to be math right now? I got 3 companies right now.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. And he was only 23 years old.
Oh my goodness.
He was raised Mennonite, and because he was Mennonite, he wasn't allowed to go to school past the 6th grade. So, I don't see the problem.
Well, he doesn't know the quadratic equation either. The Mennonite.
Probably not, but he knows how to build. He knows how to put up the barns.
Well, okay. That's the lane that he's in. Now, speaking of dummies,
sure. He builds Noble barns, not doesn't spend any time at Barnes and Noble.
Oh yeah. So, and guys like that guys like you turn phrases. The New York Post reports that Kim Kardashian, I did not know this, has tried to pass the bar multiple times. I didn't bother to read the whole story, but
you know what? So is Kamala Harris, and she cannot.
Well, I was thinking
every time she sees one straight in.
Yeah,
she can't pass it ever.
Yeah. And she walks past the bar and she says, I can recite the holder and due course rule from commercial paper. When a negotiable instrument's negotiated to a holder in due course, he takes free from all personal defenses and claims. That's how much I remember from the bar. Kim Kardashian has not been able, and she's giving up on it. Don't give up. Maybe Mayor Daley can help her with the prep because he didn't pass it either.
I wonder if the guy that took it for Joe Biden is still around.
Well, there were stories, they're all apocryphal, of course, that Mayor Daley did not take it for himself the third time or whatever. But I don't know that. I would not
is that what it
allege
is? You
that.
get 3 tries? You get 3
I don't know
tries?
how many. You probably get as many as you want.
Bruce, did you pass on your first time?
Absolutely,
Wow.
absolutely.
Impressive.
Yeah, and here's the thing: when I took it the weekend that this is how long ago it was. What was on TV all weekend was Prince Charles marrying Lady Di. Okay, that's what was on television. You sit there, at least back when we did it, 3 hours in the morning one day, 3 hours in the afternoon on that day, 3 hours the next morning, 3 hours the next afternoon. I got to think you're sitting there taking these exams. I got to think Kim Kardashian with her booty could withstand that. I mean, that's part of the battle. Just the war of attrition. Just
That was
sitting
like
there.
40 years before you took the ACTs for Derrick Rose.
And thank you so much for following Bruce Wolf's academic lecture. And I had a problem when I took the SAT for Derrick Rose because I just didn't remember a lot of stuff, and I didn't score all that well. I only got him into Memphis, for crying out loud. So anyway, all right. Now that I feel good about myself, making fun of the intellectual inferiority of everybody else except for you, let's take on Darren Bailey, who's really got an interesting tack. He had that one ad where he's showing himself in Chicago, and he loves Chicagoans, whatever. And Scott Bertram, our friend, said in Illinois, Darren Bailey has decided to adopt the Bruce Rauner playbook of trying to appeal to voters who won't cast the ballot for him under any circumstances. Bailey lost by 12 in 2022, will lose by more this time, and in the process lost his identity as a politician. Apparently, he has said he's hands off about abortion. Okay. He almost sounded like he was pro-abortion, but he wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to do anything about that. I think he has a chance if he could lose that accent and about 50 pounds. Although somebody said he's thinner now. Is Bailey? We know Pritzker's thinner, but I don't think Bailey is he? I don't think we have an Ozempic battle between the two of them.
Well, maybe they actually have competing, what is it, QF1s or whatever they're called, battle. It's one of them's going to do Ozempic, the other one's going to do a Mounjaro.
Yeah, right. It's like the Pepsi challenge, or versus Coke. I understand that. So
Jardiance, though, is really swell.
Yeah. So, meantime, does he look thinner there? He's wearing a slimming suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks a little slimmer. So he doesn't have to lose 50, maybe about 25. Meantime, Chicago alderman, Walgreens is moving out of the South Side. They threatened this. They said we're getting looted all the time. They closed down a store on the South Side.
Sure.
And Alderman William Hall wants to see Walgreens face charges for closing. He calls it first-degree abandonment. Now, I'm not a criminal lawyer, okay? But I got to think at most it's second or third degree abandonment, not first degree abandonment.
I think it's discriminatory that people have to ride all the way to the North Side to shoplift. That's just wrong.
Yeah. No, really.
You should be able to shoplift in your very own neighborhood.
Or we should have like a Judge Garrity from back in the day order busing so that people could be brought to the North Side and shoplift. But to make it do
the Shoplift Express.
Right. So, yeah, just it's an interesting tack. Nice to see that the city council was as insane as it ever was. So
or maybe what? Just to go with a Mandami
sure
method and just open free stores.
But first of all, it's not going to be open. When's it going to be open? Like, but 2029, or there'll be a lot of cost overruns before then.
Well, if he's a true communist, it'll be exactly 5 years.
And then we'll have another plan. and another 5-year plan, and another 5-year plan. So, I mean, just to summarize this Graham Patner, making a big deal. Oh, yeah, he's got a Nazi tattoo, and it's just the tattoo of the concentration camp guards. That's all. I mean, that's about as pure Nazi as you can get. But I remember Teddy Kennedy pretty much let a girl drown, and all was forgiven when he became the liberal lion, pardon my Tom Brokaw, of the Senate. So if you go through that baptism of becoming a Democrat and mouth the right policies, doesn't matter. They're not going to stick it to you.
Yeah. It's who was it? Was it Tom Ryan or Jack Ryan? Jack Ryan.
Yeah, sure.
Who had to resign because he wanted to have sex with Jerry Ryan in public, if you remember that.
He had sex with his wife.
in public though.
Yeah, well, I totally understand.
Which I've always said, if I was going to have sex with Jerry Ryan, I would also want witnesses. Because it's the only way that anyone would ever believe me.
Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap. Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap. And one of my Twitter buddies, Marty, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Makasiak. He says, excellent suggestions from ABC7 Chicago Graphic on how to get better gas mileage by limiting sudden starts and braking. And he says, give me a break. Which is a nice pun there. But I'm just thinking, pretty sure Channel 7 viewers aren't even allowed to drive anymore. So, why give these tips? It's just a modest
maybe he did mean braking. Maybe he
no, I understand it.
You limit the amount of times you stop the car, get out of it, and do a little spin there on the cement.
No, my joke was about Channel 7 viewers, but okay, let's. So I sent this. Did you see, Chris? I sent this thing from Alan Dershowitz about Larry David. It was just so funny to me. Apparently, they used to be good friends. And then Alan Dershowitz, he explains how his friendship with Larry David ended. He's a mean, nasty man, says Dershowitz. I mean, Dersh dishes deliciously. And I could say that 10 times real fast because I really liked it. Larry David, Dershowitz says, he always asked me for things. He never gave me anything. He asked me to help his daughter get into college, which I did. He asked me for a number of other favors, which I did. He came to my house and worked out in my gym. He would come over to the house and had dinner all the time. But the minute I defended Donald Trump, he started screaming at me, yelling at me. And that was it. It was it. So, and he says, Larry David is not playing some character on his show. He really is a total a-hole, which that's
kind of funny if you think about it. Is what Dershowitz laid out there could be an entire season of Curb.
Right.
It's I got to get my kid into college. He's not very smart.
No, he did.
And the next one, why should I pay for a gym membership when my buddy has a gym right in his basement?
Yeah. Well, the last season of Curb was based on a ridiculous premise that there was voting suppression in Georgia. He was being tried for giving water to a black woman in line to vote. And that was right around the time the poll came out from, I think it was University of Georgia, that said the percentage of black people who felt that they were intimidated when they voted in the 2022 midterms, 0%. So it's
right.
Just,
not to mention, I think voting actually went up in the black communities after the laws went into effect.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I loved Curb, and I don't mind that Larry David is that way. Alan Dershowitz finds that he can't watch it anymore, but that's okay. The run is over. You don't have to watch it anymore.
You sure?
Oh, he ended the show. He's got something else coming up for HBO. No, Larry David.
Yeah. And if it tanks, one more season of Curb. Because how many times has he ended it?
No, it's done.
He has
It's-
ended the show more times than the Eagles have done farewell tours.
Well, yeah, but this one, no, he came up with something new. Something new is
Okay.
coming up with him. We really haven't talked about the Iran war. I could say, before we came on, and this is being taped, we apparently got into a kerfuffle fired on some Iranian tanker at Bandar Abbas and the island of Kesh. But we apparently our administration said, "Oh, the ceasefire is still holding." So, I mean, I personally hope it won't. I hope it'll fall
Well,
apart.
I actually heard something today that was kind of enlightening. Somebody suggested that the reason why there's a ceasefire is not because the negotiations are going well or that the Iranians have actually stopped. The reason for the ceasefire,
Munitions?
nope,
Okay.
China. China's coming to Washington. That's the last
Oh,
thing
that's right. Oh, I know that's happening.
That's the last thing that that Trump wants to have to do is to escalate things in the middle of the Chinese
But
visit.
the problem is when he talks, and this was postponed, if you recall, that if he comes in there, listen to me sounding authoritative on this stuff, on this as well as Eric Swalwell's genitals. I mean, I really cover the turf here. But no, I think that he's going to be in a weaker position because right now it looks kind of stalematey with Iran. It'd be kind of nice if we could kill another tier of the IRGC, but you could be right because that this is the summit.
Yeah, and the reason why the
happening.
summit was postponed was coming from China. Do you ever order anything on Temu? It always takes a month or so.
There we go. So I know you don't care that much about sports. You certainly don't care about the Bulls, right? Chicago Bulls. They got a new general manager. You have no idea who he is, and you don't care, right?
No. Does anybody?
Chris doesn't
Does anybody
care.
after Jordan left the Bulls? So did all the Bulls fans.
I was a sportscaster. The last memory I have of the Bulls is Derrick Rose trying to shoot over LeBron James in the playoffs because he was trying to do everything himself, and it didn't work out too well. But anyway, they're trying again. Meantime, I'd rather go into the past. I saw this on Twitter. It was a Sports Illustrated cover from 28 years ago, and it was about the how prolific. This is before there's 3-point shooting, by the way. This was about how pro athletes have fathered a startling number of out of wedlock children. This is from 28 years ago. I guess it was startling back then. One NBA star has 7 children by 6 women. At
least it's even.
Well,
Six children from 7 women wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, I took the pains to go to ChatGPT on this. So interested was I in this that I found out that adjusted for inflation, NBA stars make almost twice as much as they did back then, which means your top prolific scorer could father maybe 14 children by 12 women. Now, Elon Musk has 14 children by 4 women. But, however, this caveat, unfortunately, because of Donald Trump and his war, NBA stars could slow down this summer because of pain at the pump. Anyway, that's all. Just wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say about how prolific the.
Had to go back 28 years for that
28 years. You dug deep. Tap that well. I've noticed something on Twitter. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, maybe the next president of the United States, is constantly tweeting about cultural things that you're amazed at his expertise. He did one on baseball movies. He did one on the best WWE wrestlers of all time. Here's the baseball one. He says, I like Sandlot, but I rank it behind Major League, the Natural, Field of Dreams, Bull Durham, Damn Yankees, etc., etc. And
Damn Yankees is up there. It's a great baseball film. It's even mentioned as a baseball film.
Yeah. So a little fruit.
I would put League of Their Own before Damn Yankees.
Yeah, because I think there was crying in Damn Yankees. Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets.
Yeah, I would not consider him an expert on baseball films. I think he Googled that one.
Maybe. I think he did play sports, didn't he? I think he was on some important team, if I recall. If Chris can find out real quickly.
While we're talking about presidential aspirations, have you seen any of Marco Rubio's filling in for Carolyn Levitt as press secretary?
I understand this is his moment right now. I mean, I know he's taking everybody else's job. That's his meat.
I know. It's kind of a joke. Yeah, that who's what job is he doing now? He's now press secretary.
I mean, he just talked to the Pope the other day. He's doing everything.
He's killing it. He's killing it. I am ready to call winner of the 2028 election. And
Mark, you forget about the nomination. He's going to win the election.
Yeah. He's going straight through.
Played baseball at Yale and was in the college or the Little League World Series.
He was in the Little League World Series, and now I think he's still the same height. The requirements for the Little League World Series. I think.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah.
That's going to go against the Tim.
I know you think he's not presidential because he's too small.
But if he's on the debate stage against Rahm Emanuel.
Oh yeah, both on risers.
Yeah. But even when they shake hands, he's still gonna dwarf
Rahm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always thought he was real good. I voted for him in the primary in what year was it? 16. I think he ran. Remember, that was little Marco back then. See, a guy like me would have cried and run off stage if Trump had called me that. Instead, he just takes it and he eventually becomes Secretary of State.
And a good one. And a good one too.
Yeah. No, I know. He knows his stuff.
So he might break the too short to be president rule. I didn't care for him when he joined the Gang of Eight.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, hold on a second. I'm confusing Rubio. I'm conflating Rubio with DeSantis. I voted for Rubio in 2016, but we're talking about DeSantis. Yeah.
No, I was talking about Rubio.
Oh,
DeSantis. Yeah, it was just.
You think Rubio's the next president?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, is Rubio really short too?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
He's Cuban. Cubans are little, mostly because they're underfed. But
Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap.
And that's the Weekly Wrap on radio and television. Follow Bruce at Bruce Wolf Shy on Twitter and Tim at timslagle.com. The Weekly Wrap with Bruce Wolf, a CP Pods production.